Hi, I'm Jo Pratt and I'm with Nick from ikeepfit, and we're going to make a lovely miso salmon with an oriental green salad. Now if you like oriental flavours and things that are really fresh and tasty, this is definitely a recipe that you'll enjoy doing. Okay. Now I've got some lovely fresh salmon that's been skinned and it's had all those little bones taken out, which generally if you're going to buy it from a supermarket or a fishmonger is how you'll get it. So you don't need to do a lot to the actual salmon itself. And I'm going to make a marinade, and we've got some miso paste, nice dollop of that. We've got some ginger, nice freshly grated ginger. Apparently it's really good if you've got poor circulation ginger.
Great. And the miso paste, is that something we can use apart from that? If you haven't got that?
You can, miso, you often, yeah, it's not necessarily the easiest ingredient to get hold of, and you don't have to use it in this marinade. You could use something like a bought oyster sauce, or even just avoid it altogether and maybe just use some soy sauce in there. But okay. It's quite available in supermarkets now, and once you've got the jar, you can use it and make some nice miso soup, which is a lovely, healthy, warming soup that you can have at lunchtime or any time of the day, really. I've got some soy sauce, just for some natural saltiness in there. Okay. And then some rice vinegar. And I put some caster sugar in there as well. Now you can get, I don't know if you've heard of mirin, which is a sweet rice vinegar. So you could, instead of using rice vinegar and sugar, use just mirin. But if you've got rice vinegar in the cupboard, it's not worth going out and buying mirin just for the sake of it. Just add a splash of, or add a little sprinkle of sugar into the marinade.
This is mainly a protein recipe again.
Yes, yeah, it's completely, there's no carbohydrate in there, which is great. So we're using all vegetables and then plenty of lovely fish. So this would suit one of your, which of your plans would this be the best suited for? Our
protein plan and our low GO plan in the evening, so
brilliant. Great. Perfect. And if you're cooking for somebody that does want to have some carbohydrate with their meal, have some really nice brown rice with this, or even wild rice, it'd be gorgeous, great. Really tasty.
Well, so having the salmon's great as well because it's a great anti-inflammatory, helps support weight loss, and it's great for your skin.
Oh, brilliant. Can't go wrong then, can you? But then if you didn't want to use salmon, if you wanted to use something else, other fish would work. I know obviously salmon's a very good one. I'm going to pop this in the fridge. And here's some that's already been marinating. But yeah, as I was saying, the different salmons, the different fish that you could use a white fish, you could use chicken for this. But I think salmon, as you said, it's really healthy and it's great for the colour, and it's really easy to get hold of, which is perfect.
Yeah, for health reasons, the oilier the fish, the better. So.
Brilliant. There we go then. So spot on with that one. Talking of oil, I'm going to add a drop of oil to the pan. This is just a little light vegetable oil. We'll just add onto the pan.
And why vegetable oil, Jo?
It's flavourless, really. I mean, you could use vegetable oil, groundnut oil, rapeseed oil, anything that's not got a great deal of flavour, that's going to take away from the flavour of the food, and just to prevent it from sticking in the pan. Okay. And I'm using a frying pan for this, but you could griddle it. Definitely you could stick this on the griddle.
And what sort of heat is your pan at?
This is a medium heat. If it's too high, you'll burn the outside, because you've got some sugar in there as well. You'll burn the outside of the marinade and the fish. And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to cook it quite sort of slowly, I suppose, so it cooks enough just so the salmon's almost cooked through, but it also cooks the outside as well. Okay. Anything too high will burn it. Anything too low, the fish will start to poach in its own juices, and we don't really want to do that. No. So keep it on a sort of a medium heat, and that'll just take a few minutes to cook. Now, of course, you could steam the salmon as well, because I'm actually going to use the steamer now for a salad that goes with this.
Great. Well, steaming's better for holding on to the nutrients, so even better. Perfect
for this. It's a really easy way of cooking, certainly cooking vegetables, because there's nothing to do to them, and then you just get all the natural flavour of the vegetables coming through, really, which is great. And I've just got some tender stem broccoli and some sugar snap peas, which just go straight into the steamer, and so long as you put the lid on, they'll just cook on their own just for a few minutes.
And Jo, why have you used those vegetables?
The tender stem is really nice because it's lovely and tender, so it's a great vegetable to use in salads if you want it as a warm salad, because it doesn't take long to cook. And then the sugar snap peas, they're lovely and crunchy. You could use standard broccoli or asparagus, really any green vegetable that you want to, but I really like the fact that those two still hold a little bit of crunch and have a great flavour that work well together. And they're going to cook in there and steam. And I'm also going to use in the salad, I've got some peas and some soya beans, and these are just out of the frozen bags, and they've defrosted, and there's nothing to do to them. Once they've defrosted, you don't have to cook them, because they already have that sort of texture of being cooked, and it seems pointless putting them into some hot water to do anything with them, because they're cooked.
Great, so nice.
They're really
quick
tender,
and easy.
so they're really quick and easy, and soya beans are fantastically healthy, and these vegetables are going to be warm when they go into there, so they'll warm them up slightly to make it a nice sort of lukewarm dressing, to make a nice lukewarm salad that we're going to serve with the fish. Okay. So let's just turn that fish over. Just using a pair of tongs very carefully, because obviously fish gets quite delicate when you're cooking it. Turn that over in the pan. I'm now going to turn the heat off. Okay. They've already started cooking from the bottom all the way up. And if you turn the heat off, the heat in the pan will carry on cooking it without burning it.
Right.
So it's a really sort of good tip to have if you don't want to overcook the salmon, because it's actually really nice if you just have it still really tender inside. And then these vegetables, let's have a look. I should imagine these are almost there. Oh, that's brilliant. So what I'll do...
And should the salmon be pink inside, or...?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's nice to have it just pink.
Okay.
Still not cold, but just slightly pink. But it's personal choice. If you prefer your salmon to be cooked all the way through, then obviously cook it all the way through. I'm not somebody that's going to say, oh, you only have to have it raw or rare. It's definitely down to personal choice when it comes to cooking. The flavour's still going to be there. So then you've got this really lovely combination of the peas, the soya beans, sugar snap peas and the broccoli, so it's really lovely and healthy.
It looks super healthy.
You can have more than one portion of that. There we go. And then I'm just going to make a dressing to go with this.
Okay.
So while it's all nice and warm, the best time to add your dressing is while it's warm, because it will soak in all those flavours. I'm just going to add a good squeeze of lime juice.
And can you use lemon as well?
You could. I prefer lime with this because it's quite oriental, all these flavours, okay. And lime is a nice sort of ingredient to use with the oriental foods that we're using. Or you haven't got a fresh lime, then you could just use one of those plastic cartons and squirt some in.
Great.
Which is a really good store cupboard standby. Right, I'm going to put some spring onion in there as well. Very finely sliced. And if you cut it on an angle, it just looks a little bit nicer. It has a slightly more oriental edge to it as well.
You make it look so easy.
It is. It's nice and easy. Nice simple recipe and nice simple flavours. You've got your salmon just finishing cooking. You've got some fresh vegetables. Lovely ingredients, and they just get mixed together. I'm using spring onion as opposed to others because the spring onion's nice because it's going in raw, and again it's sort of got that oriental touch to it as well. I'm going to add a little bit of oil, and I've got some sesame oil. This is toasted sesame oil.
Can you use other oils as well, or is it...?
You could. Again, I think because this is a sort of following along an oriental theme, it's nice to have the toasted sesame oil in there because it's a nice flavour, the sesame. You could use just a light olive oil or some rapeseed or some groundnut oil. I'm after the flavour really, but you don't need a lot. Sesame oil is quite powerful. And I'm going to add some freshly chopped coriander.
And again, you can use any other herb apart from that? Or?
Not really, actually. Fresh coriander is the best one to use. If you haven't got coriander, you could use basil or mint. Okay. But fresh coriander is probably the best one to use. And then let's just add a good old sprinkling of some toasted sesame seeds. Adds a bit of a crunch into that dressing. And some soy sauce for a salty taste, but not too much. And
if you don't have soy sauce, could you have an alternative?
You could just use normal salt, actually, if you don't want to use soy sauce in there. Let's give this a good mix together. Lovely, lovely colours going on there. And you can smell that sort of sesame, the toasted flavour. It's really tasty. There we go. And if you had any of this left over, if you were serving this for your evening meal, it'd be brilliant to have as a nice sort of packed lunch.
Great. It smells really fresh.
Really fresh. Right, let's serve up. Let's take a lovely piece of salmon. So that's just slightly tender in the middle still. Piece on there. A lovely serving of the vegetables.
Super healthy.
Super healthy. And super tasty, and hopefully you'll agree, super easy. Anybody can make this.
I think even I could.
Hey, we'll make a cook of you yet, don't you worry. So, there we go, Nick, our miso salmon with an oriental green salad.
Great, Jo.